Hello everyone, my name is Barbara and I would like to welcome you all to our latest Knowledge webinar episode. In this week's episode, a look at Arcon Evo, next generation architecture visualization software from Alicosoft. Arcon Evo is a powerful standalone 2D and 3D CAD program for all types of building design. The webinar will include a run-through of the software, designing floor plans in the 2D construction mode and checking the results instantly in the 3D model design mode. Presenting the webinar today is Tim Bates. Tim Bates is the Product Marketing Manager for Alicosoft UK. With over 15-year experience in the software industry, Tim has managed a range of retail and professional home design software products for the UK and English-speaking territories. Before we get going, here's an overview of what we do at Knowledge. Knowledge is one of the largest online stores for design software. We offer a huge assortment of software solutions that cater to virtually every designer's need. Put us to the test and come visit our webpage at knowledge.com. And for more daily software news and limited time promotions, pay a visit to the Knowledge blog and follow us on Facebook, Google+, and Twitter. Coming up next week, Sketch to Model, detailing your model in Rhinoceros. Last but not least, today's webinar is free and is being recorded live. If you want to rewatch this or any webinar episode, just head on over to Knowledge's YouTube or Vimeo channels. And now, without further ado, I'm going to pass the screen and voice to Tim. Take it away, Tim.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Okay.
I can see it now.
Excellent. Okay. Right. Okay. Thanks very much, Barbara. And obviously thanks to Knowledge for giving Elecosoft the opportunity to demonstrate Arcon Evo. So before I start the demonstration, I'd like to give you just a quick sort of overview of Elecosoft itself and what Alicosoft has to offer as a company. Basically, Alicosoft PLC is a leading provider of software and related services to the global architectural, engineering and construction industries. We're based in the UK, Sweden and Germany, and we have a broad portfolio of software interests, including project management, design and engineering, estimation, CAD and design, visualization, and also BIM. Software applications are sold directly to many sort of leading construction companies in above territories, and also through various international dealer and channel partner networks. Alicosoft are a well-established and profitable company, and our long-term goal is to be the preferred specialist software partner to customers in all major markets for construction across the world. So here's some of our brands. So we sort of bring in sort of visualization, CAD design, engineering, estimating, project management, site management, and BIM. So Arcon Evo, so this is our architectural design and visualization software, which I'll be demonstrating in a short while. So basically, Arcon Evo was launched. We launched Arcon Evo into the European market in this year, and it basically follows the success of Arcon Visual Architect, one of the sort of leading architectural CAD programs in Europe since about 1996. Basically, our Arcon is a complete CAD solution dedicated to architects, building professionals, developers, designers, and also to self-builders and also home improvers. Arcon Evo software offers significant new updates for designing all types of building design, from residential to large-scale developments. It offers a comprehensive, flexible and customizable tool set for creating professional plans, drawing sets, and of course visualizations sort of very quickly and easily. So some of the key features, which I'll obviously do a run through in a moment. Obviously, has a modern user interface with construction tools, for creating high quality professional floor plans, inline measurements, which gives you greater control over making direct changes around selected elements, improved wall layering and wrapping function for creating wall cavity detail, built-in layout assistant for producing detailed sets of floor plans and section views, import export options, which I can go through in a bit more detail a bit later on, and various other features which I'll explain in a short while. So as Barbara explained earlier, so basically Arcon Evo is obviously supplied through Novage, and what we will do, so basically the demo I'm going to do now is it'll basically run through sort of various elements of the software. So this is just to give you a quick overview of what I'll be demonstrating now. So what I'm going to do is now click to Arcon Evo. So here we are. Here's the Arcon Evo screen. So what I'll do is basically explain a little bit about the actual work modes. So here you have, so this is your 2D construction mode. So this is where you do all your drawing in 2D using all the various different construction tools on the left-hand side here. If you click the icon here at the top, this then allows you to enter into 3D design mode. So basically all your 2D plans are automatically converted to a 3D model from a click of a button. And you also have a plan layout mode, which allows you to, once you're happy with your design, etc., you've created all your different elevation views, your plan mode then allows you to lay out all your different or your plans, your elevations, section views, and so on onto one sheet, and for modifying in more detail. So I'll go back to 2D. So basically, so here you have. So if I just go through some of the various parts of the interface. So here on the left-hand side, so you have various different construction tools on the left. So if I click on walls, for example, this will bring up a catalogue on the right here with all various different selection of different sort of predefined tools. All of which can be customized to your own requirements. So I'll just sort of go through and click on the various different the various icons. So again, here you've got tools here, various different editing tools for example, for modifying walls, to trimming, for hatching, for filling 2D shapes, for with hatching, different hatching and filling styles. For sort of modifying various other parts of your drawing as well. You've also got a room assistant here. So here it has again various different sort of predefined shapes, which you can then easily sort of place onto your plan, which will then be converted to an editable construction element. Doors. So again, you have various different door styles. So I'll just run through here so you can see here. Again, you have various, so you have bifold doors. If I click on here, click on the component editor here, we'll bring up more of a sort of detailed view of the door itself. Same for windows, so various different window styles. Go up a level, and various different window sort of cutouts as well, which you can sort of create cutouts or recesses into the wall itself. Again, for stairs, so various different stair styles, various different ceiling cutouts, balconies, various different support pillar styles, including chimneys as well, various different roof styles. So you have freeform roof, hipped roof, pent roof, gable roof, and so on. Again, dormers, various different dormer styles there. Same for skylights. objects, and then various measuring tools at the bottom here as well. So a large selection of dimensioning tools, text, guidelines for helping you sort of draw your walls in place, and so on, and so on. So obviously, before you start a project, you can set up the project using the project properties here. So from here, you can obviously define your paper size. You can obviously define your own sheet size as well, margins, etc., scale, unit of measurement, various drawing data, and so on. So for this example, I'm just using a template here with various guidelines in place. So what I'm going to do now is select the wall option, and then I'm going to select one of the wall types here. So I'm just going to select exterior wall, and then I'm going to use you have various input methods on the to the side of the catalog, and also to the side of the construction tools on the left-hand side as well. So basically, every time if you click on a wall, it'll give you the option to, for example, create sort of multiple walls joined together, single walls, angled walls, wall at midway, parallel walls, and so on. And you can also round off walls as well. So click on here. So what I'm going to do is just draw in. Let me just click on there again. Okay, so you can see here I'm just drawing in the outline of the exterior walls. Okay, so every time you draw the wall, obviously you can see here it's not quite joining. So what I'm going to do is actually use the tools here to actually just modify and just join those two walls together. So if I just click on here and then click on my two walls, and I'm just going to join the two walls together. So as the walls join, it'll recognize that as a room. And I'll just demonstrate now by drawing in additional walls. So for example, I'm just going to draw in some internal walls here. So now you've got a room 2. Room 1, room 4. And I'll just draw a room on the side here. Obviously at this, I'm just sort of 3D placing the walls at this stage just to for sort of demonstration purposes. But so for here then, so for example, room here, this room here, I'm going to then apply, go to room data. I'm going to call this, for example, kitchen stroke diner, for example. Okay, and I can do the same, so for this side here, I don't know, family room, and we'll just call that, say, hall. Okay, so I'm going to click to 3D now. So click on the 3D mode. So straight away, it's created a 3D model from that 2D plan. So you can instantly see the results in 3D just from a click of a button. Okay. So the actual controls I'm just using the mouse. So with the mouse controls, I can easily rotate the model. I can zoom in and out, and I can sort of pan as well using the various different sort of key combination controls. So I'm just going to now go back to the 2D mode. Okay, so now I'm going to apply some, actually what I'll do is just explain a little bit about that walls themselves. So as you can see, if I go to click on the wall here, so here we have various different sort of predefined wall types. If I click on one of these walls, or click on one that I've already placed, if you then click on the option here in the horizontal toolbar, this basically will open up a dialog box which will then allow you to make various changes to that wall. So for example, if you want to sort of add various layers for like added cavity wall detail, etc. And you could use this dialog box here. So for example, I click on here, I can create a new layer, I can give it a name, I can then click on the actual hatching style, apply hatching, and so on. And I can also go into a lot more detail as well. So you've got various different settings here for changing the hatching style and so on. Okay, you've also got the option here to actually, for example, how you want your sort of windows and doors to behave in the window as well. So you've got various different sort of layer wrapping options for windows and how they actually will display in the actual wall itself. So you click on here and you've got various different sort of auto thicknesses depending on the actual style of the wall and sort of cabinet actual sort of detail you've used. So I'll just close it. You could also obviously create your own wall types and then save those to the existing database for use in future projects as well. And that also applies for doors, for windows, and skylights and so on. So it gives you there's a lot of flexibility there for creating your own types. So I'm now going to click on Windows. So I'm now going to place some windows into the plan. So as I explained earlier, you've got various different window styles. I've got some more here. So I'm going to go to double panel window. And I'm going to click white plastic. Okay, so again, at the minute, so I'm just going to zoom in. So I'm just placing the window directly into the wall itself. Okay. Now, obviously, you have, again, as I explained earlier, you have various different input methods. So you can actually set a window, place a window at a set distance, or, for example, you can place a window between two points. Okay. So what I'm going to do is just place some windows into the walls, external walls on the side here. Okay, I'll put one there. Of course, and when you're placing the windows, you can also define the opening as well, which you can obviously change at a later stage if required. Okay, I'm going to do the same for doors. So I'm now going to click on doors. I'm just going to go to entrance doors. I'll click one of the door types, and I'm going to place a door there. So again, I can actually define how the door opens. I'm just going to place some internal doors as well. So I'll place one there. And over there. Okay, so I'm just going to go back to here. I'm going to place a bifold door as well. So I'm just going to click on that window there and just move it across to there. And then click on this option here. Okay, so I'm now going to flick to 3D. So straight away, you can see the windows and doors in place. Okay, so as I explained earlier, you could obviously pick up a window, move it about, and so on. But you've also got the use of inline, what we call inline measurements. So for example, I click on this window here, and these can be used in both 2D and also and of course in the 3D mode as well. So here, once you've clicked on a window, it'll bring up all the different dimensions. So sill heights, the height of the window, position of the window, the width, distance to ceiling, and so on. So for example, I'm going to click on here, and I'm going to change that to 2.5 meters, for example. So that's now changed the width of the window to 2.5. I'm now going to change the height to say 1.3, and that's now changed it to 1.3. I'll just change the distance to ceiling to say 0.8, for example. Okay, and then change the sill height to, and so on. So you can see it gives you a lot of flexibility there to actually change the various window, the various elements within the plan. And this also, you can obviously make changes to doors, to the walls themselves, and I'll show you, explain a little bit later on how to make sort of changes to, for example, the roof as well, using the inline measurements. So you can do that to both, obviously, the inside and also to the outside. Obviously, once you've actually created, for example, if you wanted to use this window type for all the others, so the same properties, you can transfer the properties across to all the individual window types as well. So if I go back to 2D, so again, like I said, as I explained earlier, so if you click on, for example, the door, they'll come up with similar inline measurements where you can change the appearance of the door, in 2D as well. So if I can now go into a bit of detail, let me just turn off these edge dimensions and also the so it's just a little bit clearer. So what I'm going to do now is click on a window and just explain a little bit about the actual dialog boxes as well. So if I click on a window and then click on the component tab here at the top, this will bring up a dialog box that uses, you can obviously change various properties using a sort of list view, but also you can use various graphics as well for changing parts of the window. Now, this dialog, basically, the beauty with Arcon Evo, you can really sort of drill down into detail and change individual sort of component parts in more detail than you used to be able to in the older system that we used to have. So, for example, this view here. So you can obviously click on the graphic display here. You can change again. You can change, the height of the window, the sill height, using this view here. And then, if you then hover your mouse, your cursor over the graphics on the right-hand side here, you can make various adjustments to the window as well. So, for example, here you can change the window frame width and so on. Again, the opening, how the window opens, and so on. Got a 2D view. You've got various different 2D display that can be applied to your floor plan. Component parts. Click on here again, so you can drill down to even more detail. So overhang section, for example, frame width, thickness. You can obviously add bars to the window, which will obviously update your graphic here. In fact, what I'll do, let me just flick to 3D, and so you can actually see it in. So let me just zoom round to this side here. Okay, so you can actually see the changes in real time as well as so for example, I'll take those bar display off again. That'll change the bar display of the window in real time. Okay, so again, installation type and fitting type, so how the window is actually fitted into the wall, how it's actually placed into the wall. You can make various changes there, and so on. Again, same for the surround, so various different settings here. You can also apply, for example, if you have a shutter box, you can actually apply a shutter box to the window. Make various adjustments using the various graphics on the right. And that's probably going to be on the outside, that particular one. Again, cornering, how the window actually displays. So if you've got a sort of window, two windows, joining each other on the corner, you can actually make various changes, settings here on how that's how the window sort of displays, and then the same for the wall connection as well, so how it's actually connected within the wall itself. So it's quite an advanced dialog box for making changes to the window, and this is also it's a very similar dialog box for doors as well. So using the same sort of dialog. Again, I'll just do a quick run through, so you can again make various different changes to the component, and sort of really sort of drill down to a sort of high level of detail. Another part of the actual dialog box is if you can also start what's called a component editor. So if I actually click on here, you can also make changes to the door yourself as well by using. So you can actually delete, for example, remove parts of the door yourself, or add various. For example, I want to maybe sort of add, where we say, a frame across there, for example. I can then make sort of various changes to the door. You can obviously see that in 3D as well. And then, of course, you can delete it and so on. If I go to, for example, let me just cancel this one. Come out of there, and just click on the window. Go back into Component Editor. Click on here. So, for example, I then want to sort of create an arch to that window. You can easily do that within the actual editor itself, and then here you can see the window changes. You can also, once you're obviously happy with your design, and then you can use the same component editor for creating windows from scratch and doors and so on, and then you can add those to the existing database for use in future projects. So I'm just going to go back to 2D now. So it's a little bit about the construction tool. So what I'm going to do now is now create a new floor. So very easily done. So basically what you do is go to the Floors menu, New Upper Floor. Okay, I mean, this gives you the option to actually transfer various parts across. So, for example, you could transfer everything, nothing at all, only exterior walls. And then on this example, I'm going to transfer everything across, and also going to transfer all the windows and doors, etc. So I'm going to, and also in here, then of course, and you can obviously give the floor, define the floor type, floor height, etc., ceiling thickness, floor thickness, and so on. Okay, so go to 3D. Okay, so now it's created an additional floor. Obviously, you've got a door here at the top, which I'm going to take off. Okay, so everything here you can obviously then make changes to. For example, if I want to remove this wall here, I can quite easily just select it and then delete it, and then obviously add additional walls in. So, for example, I'm now going to create a wall here. I can easily do that. What I will do is just go back to the ground floor. What I forgot to do is actually include some stairs. So I'm just going to select the stair tool, and this will bring up various different stair types in the catalogue on the right-hand side here. So I'm going to click on the L-shaped stairs here. I'll just do that again. So I just went a bit wrong there. So I'm just going to click on here. Okay. So hopefully the stairs are in place. And if I then click on that stair and then again use click on the stair option here, the stair tab in the toolbar. This will then bring up the stairs dialog box. So again, you can make various adjustments to the stairs within this dialog box here. As with the doors, windows, you've got sort of list view, which gives you various different options. And also, if you prefer to use sort of more of a graphical display, then you can use this display tab as well. So from here you can then go through, flick through the various different tabs. You can make various changes, define stair type, construction type, make other changes to the stairs, for example, defining the tread thickness, and so on. And as with the windows, you can also select your symbol type as well. So step railings, so you can have different railings and so on. So you can make various changes to the stairs, once they've been placed, and sort of before placing the stairs as well. So just by clicking on here, so before actually placing the stairs, you can actually make various different changes as well before then. So go back to 3D. So you can see the stairs in place now, so that also creates a ceiling cutout as well. So with the stairs in place, you can actually create a cutout, and which will obviously update if you change the size of the stairs as well. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the 2D mode again. So you can see I'll keep flicking back and forth, but it's very quick, so you can see it updates automatically, updates very quickly once you flick between the two modes. So what I'm going to do now is actually now create another floor for the roof to sit on. So again, I'm going to go to the floors menu, click New Upper Floor. Again, I'm just going to transfer exterior walls only. Untick the windows, doors, and I'm going to call this roof. I'm just going to change the actual the height of the walls as well, so I'll just change it to say 4 and OK. So if I flick to 3D now, you'll see now it's created the top floor there where I'm going to place the roof. So I'm going to go back to 2D, I'm going to click on roof, and on the right hand side here it will bring up a number of different roof types. So from here I'm going to click on freeform roof. Again, you've got various different input methods, but in this example I'm going to click on the automatic roof option. So this basically will detect where the shape of the roof according to your sort of floor plan. So hover the mouse over the walls, over the plan, work out the shape of the roof. So I'm just going to click left click, flick to 3D, and then straight away you've got a roof in place. Okay, and you can obviously you can very quickly just delete the roof if you wish, and if you wanted to add a different roof type, you can easily do that straight away. So go over to 3D. So I'm now going to click on the roof itself, and then I'm going to open up the roof editor. So again, from here you've got various you've got a number sort of 3 tabs on the left-hand side here, so you can actually select the sort of different size of the roof to actually then, for example, if I wanted to change this front end here, I can then change this to, for example, a gable end. And you can obviously see the results instantly in the actual model itself. And then obviously within here you can then change various properties. So for example, I'm changing the overhang for that side there. And again, the same for example, if I click on this side here, I can change that to a gable end as well. So you can very quickly make changes to the roof and sort of drill down to further detail as well. For example, generating gutters, ridge tiles, and so on. And again, you've got the various 2D display options as well. If I just click on this side here, roof side height again, so you've got another assistant here for making various height adjustments to the roof. Okay, and again, if you prefer, you can work in a sort of the platelet sort of list view as well. So I'll just cancel that. And of course, if you make a mistake to the roof, you can reset the roof at any time. So this tends to, the dialog box tends to, depending on the roof style you've used, it'll look slightly different depending on, you know, what, like as you said, as I said, the roof type and the various other settings as well. Clicking on the roof, you could also have a timber construction option as well, so you can make various changes to the timbers and so on. Okay, and if I click on here, you can actually show the timbers in place as well. So I'll just put that back on again. So I'm going to go back to 2D mode. What I'm going to do now is actually place a dormer. So I'm going to click on the dormer option. I'm going to click on this top left dormer here. Click on the dormer editor. Again, dialog box here, so you can make various adjustments before placing the dormer. And you've also got a windows and walls option here, so you can basically define how many windows you want in the dormer before actually placing it. So I've just put windows. I'm now going to actually place dormer on this side and flick to 3D. I'll just go on the other side, so there you have the dormer in place. Okay, and the same applies for example, skylights as well. So you can very easily, you know, select one of the skylight types and then place the skylight in position. I'll use one of those as well. So again, go back to 3D. So okay, so you can see that in place. You also have the option to actually create multiple roof structures as well. So you have, if you go to the options menu here, you can actually intersect various different roof types, which I'll open up another project in a moment just to sort of show you how that actually works. So okay, so that's the basics really of the sort of the 2D construction mode. I've just been using all the various different edge dimensions, but of course you have all the various different dimension tools here, so you can very easily, let me just go to floor 2, so add all your various dimensions in place, angle dimensions, a list of different dimensions here you can use in your plan. Same for adding text and so on, and various different, you've got a symbols library as well, so you've got various different symbols you can use, electrical symbols, plumbing symbols, and so on. So you can obviously add you know, add further detail to your plan. And if I click on a drawing icon as well, again that will bring up a various different drawing tools as well. Okay, I'm going to go to 3D mode now. So basically, so in your 3D, this is our, I suppose we call 3D design or 3D furnishing mode. So within this mode, you can then start to make changes to, for example, you want to change sort of the brick texture or the roof tile. You want to update the roof tiles and so on. And you can also add various different, you know, furnishing objects as well once you're in this mode. So what I'm going to do is just demonstrate how to actually change the material. So I'm going to click on the edit material option here. Okay, I'm going to click on this, click on the roof, and this will bring up a preview of the roof type. So I'm just going to click on load tile, and then here I can then say, for example, click on this roof style here. Okay, and the same for the actual the wall as well. I can also directly place materials onto the model as well. So for example, I'm going to place some timbers in place here, and for example I might want to also use some rendering, so I'm going to click on the the wall option here, outside. I'm just going to click on this here. Okay, so once you've actually placed the textures, you can again very easily pick up different textures and place them to other parts of the model as well. Okay, and also by editing, if you click on the within this material settings dialog here, you can also make further adjustments to the texture as well. So, for example, you can apply sort of bump map effect and various different other sort of shading effects, gloss effect, and so on. So, which is really good. So, certainly, if you're using, if you sort of wanting to apply different effects to, say, for example, a floor surface, for example, inside a room. So you can really sort of play around with different finishes. And that kind of leads me on to the different view types as well. So you have various different lighting variants. So you've got a set of predefined ones here, but you can obviously create your own as well. So what I'm going to do is just do a quick render now. So basically, you have various different view types here. So I'm just going to click on the shadow display. So it might be a little bit slow to start with, but it'll start to update. It's fairly quick. This is just sort of using a fairly sort of basic render. But hopefully it'll whiz through it fairly quickly and just give you a slightly nicer output. Okay, so it should speed up in a minute. Okay, so so this obviously will calculate all the various different shadows, etc. In the project, using the project from the project menu, you can also set your geographical position, and you can select that from Google Maps as well. So you can define your sort of pinpoint your exact position, and that will work out where the shadows will fall at certain times of the day, etc. So within here, you will obviously, I won't go into sort of fine detail, but of course you've got various different options here for defining your shadows and sort of reflections and so on. And you also have various different display modes as well within the 3D. So which you're probably very familiar with from other sort of packages, and so on. So sort of wireframe mode, etc. So I'll just go back to here. So also regarding sort of landscaping, you have various different tools within the 2D construction mode for defining sort of terrains and so on, and sort of plotting out parts of your so for example, if you wanted to lay a path, for example, you can easily do that, and you can define all your sort of various different sort of height and sort of high and low points as well. If you want a sort of a quick visual, you can also use, we have a terrain brush here. So you click on here, and you have various different sort of preset types. So for example, I'm going to click on ground area, and I'm going to add a bit of paving out the front there. So you can very quickly just add landscaping effects to your model, and you can also sink parts of the landscape and obviously raise parts and so on. So you can sort of play around quickly just to sort of add a bit more effect to the actual surrounding. So that's a little bit about materials and textures. Regarding objects, it comes with approximately about 4,000 different object types sort of for furnishing your projects, both interior and exterior. But it also has we also have an interface to the 3D warehouse as well. So basically you can load objects directly from SketchUp 3D warehouse. So just clicking on here, this will in a moment load up the 3D warehouse. Okay, so then I'm going to say, for example, type in car. I'm going to search for a car. So the beauty of this gives you real flexibility of, for sort of furnishing your project, from tens of thousands of different objects that can be used and placed directly into the plan. So for example, I'm going to click on here, and then this gives you the option to actually then insert it directly into your plan. So I'm going to left click there, and then I'm going to place the car to the side. So if I go back to 3D now, that's placed. Okay, it's sunk in there because of. Okay, I just moved the car over here. Okay, so you can very quickly sort of furnish parts of the furnish your project using a direct import from 3D warehouse. So you can use, it could be anything. It could be sort of using different trees or different other sort of landscape and objects, or designing the interior of your building as well. So with regarding, you've also got a timber display view as well. So if I go to view, and then I'm going to go to timber construction, and you basically got various options of how you want the timbers to show. So for example, in the roof, I can just exclusively show the timbers in the roof and also in the walls as well. So you can very quickly bring up a sort of timber display view of your building. Okay, and obviously from here you can then make various adjustments. You can sort of move various individual parts of the building, and obviously using that, and then clicking on the timber construction, you can then obviously change various settings here as well. So you can take off various bits and pieces, and you can obviously have the option to not have timber display at all. So I'll just go back to timber construction. So I'll just go back to there, and also go back to there. So I'm just going to hide those. So and with that also, you can also bring sort of extrude sort of parts of the timber as well. So you can sort of be jutting out beyond the wall itself. Going back to 2D. There's also the option using various different the drawing tools. So for example, you have a shape you might like to, you need, for example, like I don't know, a platform or something, drawing in a rectangle in 2D, left clicking on the actual the shape itself, and then clicking extrude. You can then basically create a 3D object directly from that shape. So just OK. You've got various other different settings you can make to it as well, but I'll just OK that, and then go over to 3D. Okay, so you can sort of very quickly sort of play around with different shapes, just use creating different objects from 2D shapes. So it's a very sort of quick way of making sort of various changes. So regarding import export, I explained a bit earlier. So as I said, you've obviously got the interface with 3D warehouse, but you've also got obviously you can import DXF, DWG files using the import assistance. I've got the ability to import various different image files, project files, and also you've got a scan assistant as well. So for example, you might have an existing plan as an image file, and you want to then import it into your plan. You can easily do that using the assistant as well. You've also got, as I explained earlier, is the project assistant as well. So which basically gives you sort of a sort of 9-step guide of sort of setting up your project. So from from defining your sort of measurement unit through to your your paper, your sheet size, and so on. And regarding export, you have the ability to export to BIM-IFC, Kaleido file, Google Earth, again AutoCAD, DXF, DWG. You've also got the option to export to a 3D printer format as well, STL, and O2C, which is our own sort of compression object, which compressed object format, which you can view using our O2C. What's called the O2C player. Which is great for sort of communicating your sort of design ideas model to clients, for example. So I explained a little bit earlier about the plan layout system. So obviously, once you've got all your your floor plans in place, you can then use the plan layout mode, which is basically linked directly to your floor plan. So any changes you make to the main project will update in the plan mode assistant itself. So what I'm going to do is just open up one I've done earlier. So just do a plan set here. So open this up. Okay, and then go to the plan layout mode. So here you can see all the various sort of floor plans in place, various different elevation views, and so on. So within this mode, just using the various different placement types here, you can basically, for example, place an elevation, and then you can obviously change the scale of this by clicking on here, and then you can define the scale either as the same as the project or define your own scale accordingly. So so obviously within this mode you can then also add further detail using the various sort of drawing tools, so for example hatching and so on, and then using the various different symbols library as well. You can also add sort of model as well as 3D visual to your plan set as well. So it's a lot of flexibility there. Just come out of there. Okay. So yeah, so basically, so hopefully, so that's really sort of covers sort of the real sort of basics of the software. So it's a quick run through of how how the software functions, and sort of demonstrating all the various different the construction tools, how they work, and how easily it is to actually very quickly sort of draw a plan. And sort of visualize that in 3D, so you can very quickly produce visuals for clients, and and obviously easily modify your plan as well. So hopefully that's given you a bit of sort of food for thought, and obviously welcome any questions. So hopefully that was useful.
Thank you, Tim, for walking us through Arcon Evo, and especially the back and forth from 2D to 3D. That was very appreciated. We had great feedback about that, but no questions. Great feedback. Everybody was like, "Ooh, cool." I think it was, very intuitive, looking great. Thank you so much. I am sorry, I have to take the screen back. I know.
Yeah, no problem.
So let's see if you can see it.
Yeah, I can see.
Okay,
Yep.
great. First of all, I want to thank everybody for attending this webinar, and I want to remind everyone to visit our page at novage.com, where you can find Arcon Evo. Here it is. Novage is the best way to buy design software online. Also, for information on the latest specials, new releases, and great interviews, join the Novage network on Facebook, Google Plus, or Twitter, and read the Novage blog. And don't forget, the next week's webinar is about Sketch to Model, detailing your model in Rhinoceros. There it is. Students and professionals alike are encouraged to come by, learn something new, and stay to the end to get a coupon for a discount on Sketch to Model 2, the next premium video available for purchase on polyplane.com. Also, to rewatch today's webinar or previous one, you can check out our Novage YouTube and Vimeo channels, and our webinar playlist as webinars for every software taste. Thanks again for joining us and have a wonderful day. And thanks again, Tim, for a great presentation. Looking forward to the next one already.
No problem. Thanks very much, Barbara. Thank you.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Cheers. Bye. 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 Bye.